Imagine hearing strange noises outside of your window, while waking up in the middle of the pitch-black night and staring into a flickering light of a fireball hovering outside, casting strange shadows on the walls. The air feels thick, crackling with tension, while a soft sound carries on the wind. Someone or something is out there, waiting. You try to shake it off, but deep down, you know this is no dream. The Sukuyan came out hungry. What if the stories are true, and tonight, you could be its prey? Sukuyan. Frightening encounter in Trinidad. Welcome to another terrifying episode of Are Ghosts Real, where we explore this fearsome supernatural Jumbie from Caribbean lore. An ancient and sinister shape-shifting creature known by many names, such as Old Haig in Guyana and Belize, or Asema in Suriname and other parts of the Caribbean, is far from your average ghost. It's common for locals to feel an unsettling presence, as if something is watching, something hungry. But what if I told you that this one isn't just a legend? By day, she appears as an innocent older woman living quietly on the edge of town, blending effortlessly into the community. But when night falls, this seemingly harmless granny sheds her skin, transforming into a fiery ball of light, hungry for blood. She doesn't discriminate. Young or old, it doesn't matter to her. If she finds you, the first thing she will try to do is drain the life force out of you and leave you weak, marked with mysterious bruises. Her legend spans across cultures, sometimes called a loup-garou, a term derived from the French loup-garou, meaning werewolf. But unlike the werewolf, the Sukuyan doesn't need the moon to hunt. It's every night dinner time for her. Her transformation is driven by a much darker personal hunger, a thirst for human blood that she can never satisfy. Now let me tell you a famous story of a young woman named Trisha from Trinidad. She grew up in a quiet village just outside of Port of Spain, where the thrill of running through the fields and listening to supernatural stories was the highlight of her day. One story, however, she believed to be real, the story of the Sukuyan. According to her Trinidadian family, the Sukuyan was not your average ghost. At night, she would peel off her skin, fold it carefully, and place it in a calabash hidden in the bushes. Then, she'd transform into a fireball, streaking through the night in search of blood. They say she's patient. If she can't enter your home right away, she'll wait. That's when you leave rice or salt by the door. She's obsessed with counting, and it's her weakness. She'll spend the whole night trying to count each grain, unable to continue hunting. If dawn catches her in the act, you'll know it's her. And if you find her skin, sprinkle it quickly with salt and pepper. That way, she'll never be able to return to her human form without burning to death. I remember hearing how the villagers in Trinidad still believe in her, and these stories run deep. The Sukuyan is both cunning and cruel, disguising herself during the day, but when night falls, she hunts. Many have claimed to witness her fiery form racing through the dark skies, while others wake to find strange bruises on their skin, with no memory of how they got there. The thought of her slipping through cracks in the windows and doors, stealing your blood while you sleep. Those stories keep believers up at night. She has terrifying powers that make her a force to be feared. Not only can she shed her skin and become a ball of fire, but she can also enter homes through the smallest of cracks. Her fireball shape allows her to slip into bedrooms unnoticed, where she drains her victim's blood like a real vampire. But this isn't just about the physical act of blood drinking. She also feeds on fear, relishing the terror she brings to villages. People know the rules and spread rice or salt by your door. Always keep a manacle broom above the doorway, and never leave your windows open at night. If she gets inside, she'll leave you weak, sometimes leading to death. In the daylight, you won't remember how she entered, only the exhaustion and strange marks left behind. As a teenager, Trisha became obsessed with these stories. She was convinced the creature was real and that it might come for her. There was an elderly woman who lived on the edge of her village. She rarely spoke to anyone, kept to herself, and was always covered in scarves and long dresses, even on the hottest days. The whispers were constant. Could she be a Sukuyan? One evening, Trisha took a risk. She wanted to know, to be sure. She gathered salt, rice, and the courage to approach the old woman's home. She scattered the grains outside the door, just as the legend foretold. And then, she waited. Hours passed, and just when Trisha thought she had imagined it all, she heard a strange rustling sound. There, beyond the trees, was a flicker of light, a small flame, weaving in and out of the shadows. She rushed toward the rice she had laid out, and then paused, hovering, almost unsure. Was it her? Could she have really been witnessing an actual Sukuyan? Trisha's heart raced as she watched the fireball slowly circle the grains, as if deciding whether to count them or leave. And then, just as quickly as it had appeared, it vanished into the darkness of the night. Trisha ran home as fast as she could, not daring to look back, terrified that the Sukuyan might spot her and follow. It took her an hour to finally fall asleep, due to all the fear and excitement. Then, out of nowhere, she heard strange noises by her window. Panic set in, and she started to cry, pulling the blankets tightly over her head. Suddenly, a loud bang rattled the window. From that moment, Trisha froze, barely daring to breathe. She remembered little after that. Somehow, she eventually drifted into a restless sleep. The next morning, as the sun rose, Trisha was shocked to find burn marks on the outside of her window frame. Her heart still raced from the night before. She approached the window and froze. The dark, scorched marks curled at the edges, as if something hot had pressed against it. Though unexplainable, Trisha knew deep down what had caused them. The Sukuyan had been there, just inches away, and maybe the legends were far more real than she'd ever believed. Looking back, it's almost funny how seriously Trisha took it. Her friends teased her for weeks about the encounter with the Sukuyan, telling her she should have left out curry to spice things up. They even joked that maybe the old lady was just a pyromaniac. But deep down, they all knew better. They feared the creature too, as it was a fear instilled in them since childhood, a fear that felt all too real. The Sukuyan wasn't something to be joked about lightly in the village. What made it worse was that the old woman who lived on the edge of the village, the one who everyone whispered might be a Sukuyan, was never seen again after Trisha's encounter. The villagers spoke about it in hushed tones, adding another layer of mystery to a legend that still haunts their memories. Trisha never spoke of it again, but she knew that this was the creature that haunted her childhood. In many other countries in the Caribbean, the legend of the Sukuyan runs just as deep. People still speak of her, recounting the same tales passed down through generations. The manacled broom above the door, the rice left out as bait, it's all part of the defense against this ancient predator. Many believe that she still roams the night, her fireball form darting through the skies, searching for her next victim. The fear is intense in these communities, emphasizing how powerful this myth is. In a way, you can say she isn't just a character in a story. She represents something more. She embodies the fear of the unknown, the hidden dangers that wait just beneath the surface of everyday life. She's a warning that even the most ordinary people, like the seemingly harmless old woman in your village, might be hiding something far more sinister, and you should always be prepared for it. So, is this phantom real? What do you think or know about it? Or is she just a story meant to keep us in line, to stop us from wandering too far at night? Maybe. But there's always a part of us that wonders, isn't there? Perhaps these stories are rooted in something real, something we can't fully understand. After all, folklore has a way of blending myth with reality. Not all legends stay hidden. Some burn bright in the night. If this tale of the Sukuyan intrigued you, don't forget to hit the like button. We've got plenty more terrifying Caribbean legends to explore, like the Bakru or Baku, evil creatures from West African folklore that survived through oral tradition during transatlantic slavery and migration. But be warned, these stories are not for the faint of heart. And if you've had a paranormal experience of your own, message us on Instagram. We might just feature your story in a future episode. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, the truth is sometimes scarier than fiction. Sweet nightmares.